talking about like the way, I guess you guys put your comedy out there and people are consuming jokes and consuming satire in different ways. So what do you make, are you with Patton Oswalt on this one, right? The fat Jewish, this whole kind of controversy around whether or not...
Fat Jewish sounds weird.
Yeah, the fat Jewish.
Yeah, well, it's not Jewish.
No,
that's what he says on his Instagram.
I thought it was
fat Jewish.
I thought it was fat Jew.
See, there's been a lot
Jew.
of... See, I said it was fat Jew, but then someone corrected me and said it's fat Jewish. So
No,
somebody can
those people are
definitively...
racist. Those people are racist.
See,
Maybe he's fat Jewish on Instagram, but
he's
he
fat
has...
Jewish on Instagram, but I thought he's the fat Jew.
That's what I
fat
thought
Jew.
too.
Anyway.
We've already talked about him too much, but your question is, do we
my
agree
question
on
is,
it?
well, no. So Patton Oswalt obviously has a certain take on all this, and he thinks that this guy is not the best guy, and he's kind of plagiarizing folks'
Yeah, well, it's not just Patton, it's every comedian.
Lots of people.
Yeah.
What do you think about it? I mean, do you guys feel like there is a way of protecting your work once you put it out there because of the changing landscape?
Here's the thing. I think when you do something like what we did, a special, or you write a book, or you do a TV show, it's very hard to plagiarize because it's out there in a very public forum. Twitter is a lot more disposable. If you're away from Twitter for an hour or two, you miss a lot of posts. And this guy is taking other people's creative thoughts and not giving them any credit. And I think it's the only place right now where you can get away with that.
Well, that's a problem too. I mean, he's being a fucking dick, and he's probably a piece of crap, but it's also on those platforms like Twitter and Instagram. They make it too easy to do that. Like, you should just make it super easy so that people can't steal stuff like that.
But it's just words. It's just words, and it's so like if he has 500,000 subscribers and somebody who posts really funny stuff only has like 23,000 subscribers, there's never gonna, you'll never see the two. So I think it's equally bad. I think the issue that's really bad about it is he's profiting off of it.
Right.
So he's not just a thief, but he's actually making money off of people's stuff. Now, if he attributes it and he's like an aggregator, this whole idea of an aggregator, that's fine.
But I guess so few people make money in comedy.
Exactly.
Well,
I mean, look,
also
we basically,
it takes some creativity. Like, you don't want people stealing your ideas. I mean, like, people say like, oh, it's just jokes or whatever. Well, it was your joke. It was your idea. That said, there's no way to look good in this battle of back and like, you don't look good, I don't think, on Twitter talking about it. We don't look good talking about it. I fucking hate talking about this. But it's so dumb.
But it's like, yeah, you're right. You get into this thing because it's like, well, it's just a tweet. And it is, but I think it's not about like he stole the tweet. It's more about how he's being perceived. If you are being rewarded with TV show deals and getting signed and getting a lot of money based on material that's not your own, that is an issue.
Yeah, and I suppose it's like the changing way that people are writing these days, right? Or you didn't have, like 10 years ago, there was no Twitter. There was no option of being able to showcase, hey, I'm a really talented writer.
Right.
On a platform like Twitter. You just wouldn't have got the exposure and then the rewards necessarily at the end. Do you guys think about that now? Obviously that you have options. You can choose, like, I'm going to do a Vimeo special. I want to work with Netflix. I want to work with HBO.
It's kind of the best of everything because you get to make whatever you want. And there's different places where you can make it. I mean, Rob and I get really lucky to get to do our shows at Adult Swim, which is a crazy audience that let you do whatever you want, and then you have like more mainstream stuff. Like I've done stuff like on Fresh Off the Boat or The League, and Rob's doing Transparent. Like you can kind of find these little niche areas to do something that the audience will really respond to. I feel like...
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fascinating time to be making content because, as you know, I mean, this place included, everyone's scrambling to make and own their own content. So it's fascinating to see. There will be a shakeout at some point. Not everybody is going to be able to have a million shows. There just won't be enough.
Yeah, right.
But you can make something without the worry that it doesn't appeal to everybody. Like it can just appeal
you can make niche.
to...
Yeah,
it's like, like back in the day, like you had these 3 channels and that was it, and it's like... And so I feel like now you have options, and maybe the future is just that there's smaller audiences. There'll never be another Cheers, but there'll be a lot of Parks and Recreations, and that's a better world in a way because I'd like to see those shows, and not everything has to be mass consumed. There's nothing wrong with Big Bang Theory, but that shouldn't mean that everything should be as mass appealing as.